Hello, I'm Ken Farr. Grab a tea or coffee and join me now for this week's Baton Rouge Press Club Highlights Report.
So I want to talk a little bit to you today about, and we talked about, Delia talked about the teacher pay raise. So I want to start and kind of take us through that process of how we get there and where we are in Louisiana. So the legislature doesn't really set education dollars. That's done at Bessie through a formula. It's not done by a resolution in the state, Senate, or House. It's done by a formula sent to us by Bessie. It's a constitutional issue. Bessie is given the authority to do that. Bessie sets the funding level for Louisiana's funding of education, secondary education. So the last several years, actually over the last 10 years, that formula hasn't changed a whole lot. It was raised in 2014 for the first time. It's at about $39,061 per student now, and under the proposal, it's going to go to $44,015, which is about a 1.375% increase. We currently spend about state money, about $4 billion. That's what this calculates to. It'll be a little bit more. That's $54 a student. That's about $39 million total. And that goes to the districts, to each one of the school districts in the states. So you can say to each parish or to each independent school district. So historically, over the past, prior to 10 years ago, the Bessie formula increased automatically by 2.75%. It went away in the previous administration. It no longer automatically raises 2.75%. It's done by Bessie, and if Bessie can calculate in a 2.75, send it to the legislature, we can either do two things in the legislature. We take that formula and we put it into a resolution, and the legislature can do two things with it. We can approve it, or we can send it back to Bessie with recommendations of what we would like to see in there. So we can recommend to Bessie, and that's what happened. That's what has happened at this point. Let me tell you a little bit more. I'll get back to that, but we've also included in the MFP formula, or Bessie has, is the teacher pay raise. That's about $100 million, and that teacher pay raise is $1,000 for each certificated teacher in the state, and $500 for support personnel. That's $101 million. And then the $39 million is for the 1.375 increase that goes to each one of the school districts. So what's happened is there was a resolution in the House that put that formula into the resolution. There's also a resolution in the Senate that I'm carrying that has that same formula. They're identical. The House Committee on Education has sent a letter back to the Bessie Board asking that they take the $39 million out, which is the 1.35% increase to the districts. They have left the pay raise for teachers in. That's the $1,000 and the $500 for support personnel. But they've asked Bessie to take the 1.375 out. Bessie is meeting, I believe, on May the 7th to make a decision as to what they're going to do. If they're going, Bessie can do several things. They can do nothing, which means the last expression of the Bessie Board is that resolution that's sitting in the House and the Senate. They can send us back the exact same thing that they sent us before, or they can change it and do either what the House Committee has requested, or they can change it to whatever they feel like is the right thing to do. So they can change it, or they can send it back the way it is. I guess there's really two things they can do. I'm not sure what Bessie's inclination is. I have an idea that they're going to do one or two. I think they're either not going to act, or they're going to send us back the exact same thing that they sent us before. I don't want to speak for Bessie. They have an opportunity to discuss that and make their decision on their own.
Join us every Tuesday for the Baton Rouge Press Club Highlights Report, and I will see you next time right here on Newsnet, Baton Rouge.